This is a head and face practice drawing video. Technically, this is a portrait drawing video because I am drawing the head and face of these characters. The thing is, I'm not necessarily drawing for likeness. I'll be doing a portrait drawing session in a few videos, but that's not what this practice session is about. This session is more for me to learn how to spot facial landmarks and get my angles correctly. The first drawing is a drawing of a woman in a 3/4 view. First, I started off with a general head shape. Head shape is just a word that I use to describe the dome and the facial part without any details. So I might need to talk a little bit more about that, but generally after I draw the head shape, I would then try to find a place to draw the eye line or a brow line. And once I know where the eye line is, I can then determine where the nose is going to be and where the mouth is going to be as well. I'm drawing everything with a light line weight. That way I can make corrections later on, but over time I start to put more boldness into the lines as I become more comfortable with how the lines are going to look. Going towards the end of drawing the first character, I decided to start drawing hair, but I ran out of time, and so the hair is just incomplete. So now it just looks weird. I had to move on to the next character. The second character had a similar pose. This is a male character. It's a 3/4 view with the chin slightly facing downward. But this time I decided to incorporate the hair earlier in the drawing process instead of waiting until the last minute. So the hair that this guy has in the second character, it looks like a Jew fro. So the hair is very curly. I used a lot of sweeping and curls and coiling lines in order to convey curly hair. The second character also had a beard, but I opted to put a 5 o'clock shadow instead because I'm not that confident with drawing beards, at least not yet. The third character is one of my favorites of this drawing session. It's a front view. I started off by doing the head shape, but instead of just calling it a head shape, it could be more described as an upside down egg, with the more bulbous part of the egg representing the top and the narrow part of the head representing the chin of the face. So I draw this upside down egg to represent the head. The eye line is normally halfway between the top of the head and the chin. And after I find the eye line, I'd be able to determine the nose and the mouth. So I draw faint little lines to represent the nose and the mouth so I can fill them in later. I like how I drew the lips in this one. It's an open mouth, and I was a bit concerned about being able to draw the mouth at such a small scale. Adding the hair pretty much brings the portrait together, but I think I like this one because of the strong foundation that I started with, and I tried to replicate that foundation in the next drawing that I did. So the next model that I drew was in a similar pose, except the hairstyle is a little bit different, and I don't know my hairstyles that well, so I'm not gonna try and name this. Maybe somebody knows, but this style is I would describe it as more of a swept back style of hair, at least at the front. The thing about the last character was the eyes. I wanted to come up with a good eye shape to convey some level of youth, and I wanted to use a different eye shape for this character. It looks like cat eyes, if I'd be honest with you. Now the thing about the fourth one is I tried to do some shading, but the shading turned out to not be so good. It ended up looking as if the woman is old, when in fact she's fairly young. The reference that I'm using is a fairly young woman, but the shading makes her look old or scarred. It looks like she has some burn marks, which is definitely not what I was going for. Overall, I learned a lot during this drawing session. One thing I learned is to always incorporate the hair early in the drawing process. That way I'm not having to rush at the end of the drawing. Second thing is to be careful when it comes to shading and contours on the face, especially if the model is a young person. Otherwise it will dramatically change how the face is going to look. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and take care.